you put it on me gently? Let go, don't hold me so tightly. I only wanna love, why fight me? It hurts me. Got me starving, left me thirsty. You know I'm wonderful, I'm worthy. Why you wanna hurt me, hurt me now? Oh.
Now, here are two people who understand the beauty of all things great and artistic. Laura Reed and Megan Coleman.
Hello, my friend.
How you doing? Where's Megan?
I'm here. You see me? I don't see you yet. Wait.
There she is.
There she is.
There she is. Megan, do you mind moving that chair out of the, what is that, there we go. There she is. Yeah, we got to see you in all your glory, Megan Coleman.
Okay, there we go.
Oh my God. By the way, we got Chapters Volume 1 EP, a beautiful new EP. It's out now. But I got to tell you guys, and this is what I love about the two of you. There are so many musicians and female voices who want to follow a formula and like stay as close as possible to what traditionally works. But you guys are like the opposite. I was thinking about that. Like, how far can we deviate from the norm, create something interesting with our music that's never been done? And both of you, both in your careers and your collaborations, have done that.
Never been done. Okay.
Period.
Yeah, I'll take it. I mean, I think that it comes down to what's interesting and taste. And I think that's how me and Megan got together is like, we kind of have similar tastes. Like we love the classics, but then it's also, I think, can be boring just to do what everyone else is doing or what's safe. Like, as Geminis, I feel like, and you're also Gemini. So maybe this is a Gemini thing. Maybe it's just us. But I feel like it's got to be interesting. It's got to be like provocative.
Yeah. And I think because I, as a session player and as someone who's playing people's music all the time, I mean, I get to play some great music. So I'm obviously I'm grateful to be able to do so. But yeah, I think I always kind of revert back to gospel. I revert back to like classics, when in my free time, like either I'm listening to silence or, like absolutely nothing or I'm listening to stuff that I heard growing up, you know what I mean? So like that is always going to be there. And I think when I get, given the opportunity where, Laura was like, I trust you, let's collaborate and, see where it goes. I was like, okay, someone's giving me like full license to kind of have a say. Then I'm always going to revert back to what I love the most,
Yeah, that's a great point, Megan. And I just laugh when I imagine like young Megan in Detroit or Laura in North Carolina or Johannesburg or whatever. And some older dude who doesn't understand your genius saying to you both like, girls, just be good girls. You're not going to be rock stars,
Right.
Right. And I'm just like, I will destroy you.
Guys, and I want to get to know how this project and union came about in detail.
Yeah.
But let me first, I'm so fascinated with both of you. Megan, when you were coming up, in the heart of Detroit, learning from that beautiful, rich culture that is Detroit gospel and race relations and all that, were you, Megan, from an early age kind of exposed to fairness in the world and using art to make a statement about what's right and human rights? Is that where your beautiful kind of like drive and bigger purpose for equality came from, Megan?
That's a good question. Thank you. I mean, I grew up mostly like hearing music in church. That was like the entirety of my musical anything until my like 20s, honestly. So all of my like music connection was to also like missions or giving or like doing, kind of things, like community stuff, like all that was centered around that. And for me, because I never intended to pursue music for a career, I was going to do medicine. So it was like music was always just kind of like a thing like on the side, to do just because I'm like, oh yeah, I'm good at this. I enjoy it, but it's always been connected to like more of a service thing than like than a career, and I mean, I'm as surprised as maybe I'm the most surprised that I'm here doing this as a career, because other people were like, oh, you should like pursue this. And I was like, I think I just want to, do medicine, do my thing. I wanted to travel, and, do music on the side. So the intention was always for it to be in service to something else,
Yeah. And you are through your music in a way, but same with you, Laura. Laura, apartheid, South Africa, for crying out loud, but you experienced that conflict almost firsthand. But I don't imagine everyone who grew up at the same time as you has used their life and their voice for what they think is right, the way that you have,
Perhaps not. I mean, it's interesting to me that like I feel like I'm always in the belly of the beast, like being born in apartheid South Africa in '85, and like seeing that, you're like very aware that there is disparity and injustice from a young age. It was like, I saw the endings of apartheid and lived through that. And then my dad being American from Nashville, it's like, okay, we moved from there eventually because it was very dangerous. Like someone literally killed at our house, crazy stuff happening in the city. Moved to North Carolina. I get to North Carolina and I'm like, oh, so they have apartheid here too? And everyone is like, no. Like United States, like we're not like South Africa. Like it's free here. It's like, we figured out our race relations. And I'm like, okay, it feels very similar. And so seriously, they're like, we're going to put her in ESL. She doesn't speak English. But I think like, it's interesting because like from very young age, I was like, I think I'm supposed to confront this. And I started writing poetry, then found my way into music. And, one of my favorite hobbies is like making people uncomfortable, like making them talk about these things and face them within my own family, within my own communities. And I, I'm not scared. I'm not scared about it. I feel like music is like really good medicine as well as really good catalyst for change, because it's like you're able to kind of hide some sugar in the medicine. Like you're able to put these messages and get people to think about things and, kind of look at themselves in society. But there's like a beat, there's a groove, it's palatable. And I feel like I was born and lived in these environments with privilege. And so it's like my job to use my privilege, my job to like disrupt and confront and, try and help in any way that I can.
Yeah.
Be helpful. So,
yeah. No, and there is a refreshing kind of like freedom with the ways that you both are so outspoken about so many issues right now. And Megan, I was reading about your victory and fight with ovarian cancer. By the way, like massive respect. I've always known you're a badass. Both of you girls inspire me so much, by the way. But I would imagine, Megan, that this episode, just rewired the way you live your life with joy, passion, and purpose now.
Of course.
Like right now, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was, it was 10 years cancer-free this summer. And, I was I was 28 when it happened. And I was living actually in Jordan at the time, and had surgeries there and diagnosis there and everything. And already like having lived there, I'd lived there for 3 years, was such a like life altering experience for me in so many ways. It was really one of the most beautiful things that I could have done for myself. And so then like, all of that happening there kind of in the midst of so many things was also just seeing kind of the community there that like kind of took care of me. And the whole like episode, and thankfully for me it was stage 1. I came back to the States. I did chemo, which was an insane thing to go through. But I've lost a lot of friends to cancer who are like my age or younger, in the last several years, like since I went through that journey. And it is like, it does shift perspective for you, I think, a lot, when you are like so close to something and, or something like that happens to someone that you love, it shifts perspective. And it's like, I think about it a lot, in that like, there's not a whole lot of time to waste, or like, a time to like not be yourself too, you know, and I remind myself of that every day, you know, as someone who's like kind of naturally shy, like I just like being alone and, you know, or like being, you know, in silence. I'm very like, I value my silence and my quiet time, and, you know, and so I have the tendency to want to like, pull away or shy away from things. But, you know, I'm like reminded all the time, like, you know, life is so short and it's too short to just be like putting things on the back burner, you know?
Right. Right.
Yeah.
And
We're glad you're still here, man.
absolutely. Oh my God, absolutely. And we'll pivot to this amazing collaboration in just one second. But Laura, same with you. I mean, Laura, you obviously, you know, not ovarian cancer, but I feel like in the time I've met you, you know, you have this inner strength inside of you, you know, grit for a matter of, if you want to use that word. But I feel like you've had personal life changes, music changes, and you're nimble and you're like stronger. And it's almost like the curvier that life throws you the curveball, the more that you're like, I'm Laura Reed, bring it on. And that is like such an empowering thing, Laura. Did that
It's exhausting.
Yeah. tell me a little. Yeah, because it's almost like a bird, like, because you do it too well, right? So life throws you harder and stuff, right?
I know. I'm like, can I learn the next lessons with ease, please? Like that would be great.
You are. He's the one.
Everyone's like, you're so strong and resilient.
No.
I'm like, I'm exhausted actually.
I'm tired.
Yeah. No, I totally hear that.
But I think, you know, I'm very lucky that I was raised by like pretty like badass strong women. Like my grandmother was very nonconformist, very different. My grandmother was like a writer and a journalist, had like, you know, different husbands at a time when women weren't doing that, and was like pretty political. And they, you know, she raised 5 kids as a single mom. And, you know, then I have my mom who she's like very strong willed. So it was kind of, I had these examples of like, you just get through it. Like, and you can't do it by yourself. You have to lean into community, which is really important. Like I've been very blessed to have like an amazing musical community, and wherever I live, like tapping into that, to be able to get through things, as I was a single mom for a long time, you know, and doing music with kids, doing music anyway, like kind of dedicating your life to that path is difficult. And then you do that where it's like, you have the pressure of I'm responsible for another human as well. It just changes everything. And I think that I just, I focus on what I can control and like kind of getting through things like so many, you know, and like I said, tapping into community. Like, it's not like I'm out here doing it by myself, but, I think having that example too of like, I just saw people overcoming things around me and I'm like, this isn't so bad. You look back and you're like, that was trauma. But in the moment, you're like, we can do this. It's not so bad. I got my machete. I'm going to chop through. Like, the only way out is through. For sure.
All right, guys, DCP. I mean, so good, this collaboration, guys. And first of all, the fact that you two beautiful souls in this universe, planet of 8.1 billion people, connected and made this incredible like piece of art is nothing short of a miracle. Like, how did you two originally meet, Megan? We lose her. Megan, are you here?
Are you still there, Megan?
I think we lost her. All right. Well,
oh no, we lost her. I'm gonna wait for her to come back.
She'll be back in.
Yeah, because how we met was actually pretty fun. Like, we actually met in San Francisco, of all places, at the Fillmore.
Okay.
Because she was playing with this guy, Jackie Green, who was on the same record label as me. And the label kind of was based out in San Francisco. And they were like, oh, we're going to do this big show at the Fillmore and have some of the new artists. I was one of the new artists they had just signed with some of their other like legacy artists. And I can't remember. I think it was we met backstage and just instantly hit it off. And I was like, okay, I was going to do one song. So I decided I was going to go out there with harmonica in my little, like, I had like a cape that was like handmade. And I was going to just like sing a Muddy Waters song a cappella. I was like, that's going to be what I'm going to do with my like one song. And I remember like talking to Megan about it. And our friend Smoke, who was also playing with Jackie Green, and they were like, "Well, we'll join you." And I'm like, "Oh, okay." And there was like a fiddle player back there too. And he was like, oh, I love Muddy Waters. So I was like, all right, let's all go. Like, let's all go. Like, I just met them. And I was like, remember that? I was like, okay. And I don't remember this. But apparently I fell on the stage.
Yeah. Hard.
Is that ever, wait, hold on a second. First of all, Laura, is that ever awkward? I feel like everyone is like, when you're preparing for a song and you don't know if these people are any good. Obviously they are, but like when people are like, can I join you? Is it just like, is there ever any hesitancy in those scenarios?
For me, not really, because I came up in like the community of collaboration. Like my first musical communities were really in like funk music, like with George Clinton and them and that whole Parliament family. And so it was like, you're not going to embarrass me. You might embarrass yourself.
Right.
Like, if you're like, we're going to give you stank face, but I'm kind of like, have this rule of thumb, like we're all here in the same environment. We all here for a reason. So I'm like, okay, like, let's see what happens. We're going to cook and I don't know how it's going to taste, but I'm going to trust you. That kind of like, we're all here at the Fillmore. We can't be terrible, right?
Right.
Fair enough.
Like,
fair enough.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes it doesn't go well. And we're, you can like look and you're like, turn off.
Yeah.
Megan, what about from your perspective? And by the way, Megan, you have this thing that like when I first met Megan backstage, she's like a shining star. Like it's almost like it's like I don't want to see like Elvis could be there and Selena Quintanilla, and I'm like I just want to talk to Megan. You just have that thing, that gravitas.
Thank you.
But how was your from your perspective, Megan? I mean, you go to the Fillmore and what happened here with Laura?
Yeah, well, first of all, it was that was my first gig with Jackie Green, and though it was also my birthday weekend, so I was turning up for sure, but I was so excited to play the Fillmore, like legendary place, and to be in that company, it was, and I was also like I was on percussion for that gig, so I was like just having fun, what I mean? I'm like not as a drummer, there's like a little bit more responsibility, and you kind of have to just like be aware of everyone, but as a percussionist, I'm like, I'm just up here, I'm playing shaker, I'm, did the thing. So I already was like having a blast that weekend. And I remember meeting Laura, I think backstage, and, she's like, I'm just going to go play, blah, blah, blah. If y'all want to join me, I was like, yeah, why not? I'm hanging out this weekend, so I remember we Smoke and I played, and like you said, the fiddle player, Laura, as she remembered, fell super hard, but then like got right up as Andrews was like and like kept singing, and I was like, okay, she's nuts, and I love her. She's crazy.
I don't remember falling. Like it was just like this is part of the show.
Oh, but that's part of the Laura.
Well, you were wearing a cape. So I feel like the people were expecting crazy anyways. So you know what I mean? So it was like it felt like it was a part of the whole thing. But that's when we first met, and then we start just over the years, like I would play with Laura and Laura as well with their in different projects and configurations and stuff. So we've just always done things together over, what was that, like 7 years ago, something like that, over the years. And then
wow.
And then we were always like planning to write together and all that kind of stuff. And I think it happened one time. And then it just like, we were like ships in the night kind of thing. And so she was like, hey, produce my stuff for me. Basically, well, that's not what she said, but
I think I messaged you at like 1 a.m.
Yes.
Like, I have, like, I'm very much an intuitive person. Like I listen to those feelings. Like they're my guide. And I had this strong feeling that it was like, I need to make like a Laura Reed record. I need to make some more like solo stuff. I have all these songs. And it was like, I had an overwhelming feeling that Megan was the person for me to work with on it. Like you were going to see it through. And that was like a collaboration that needed to happen. But I was nervous to hit you up too, because I was just like, oh, well,
Right. There's probably a lot of people in Nashville say, let's work together, but it's almost like, hey, let's hang out.
Right.
It's like,
let's get coffee.
Exactly.
Yeah, but I was like dead serious, and I was like, I'm gonna, like, I had a label partner in London that I had been working with for like licensing and sync, and I had a conversation with them where they're like, yeah, like we want to like invest in recording some of your music. And then I'm just like, okay, like this has to be bigger than just me making some music. Like I see this as a collaboration.
Yeah.
And I have so much respect for Megan. And I just knew, like I already knew because of her taste. Like for me, a producer is all about like somebody that has great taste and like is a great communicator. And I was like, I just knew this was going to be really beautiful. And it was. It was like, it's still to this day, like my favorite time in the studio ever.
I was gonna ask you about that. And by the way, Megan, yeah, Laura has a thing on stage. When I first saw her perform on stage, I think she was like a week before she gave birth. It was like
all right. Yeah.
I had never witnessed such an extraordinary performance where you had
That
this
sounds right.
rock star, badass rock star doing these contortions on stage, but it's like about to give birth. But anyway,
Yes.
I
Yes.
digress. Okay, so the making of the EP itself, guys, and thank you for your time.
Yeah, of course.
The making of the EP itself, it looked magical, just like Laura, you just said.
It was.
It
Yeah.
just from the BTS footage and all that stuff. I mean, Megan, take us there because it really looked like you guys were like cooking magic in there.
It really was. Laura kindly was like, I trust you. You're in charge. Like, get the right people in the room. So, I knew that I wanted to work at Bomb Shelter. It's my favorite studio in the city. Shout out to Andrea. I do a lot of sessions there, and I like literally, as someone who doesn't like leaving home, it's one of the only places I like going. Like I feel like I'm going from my home to my home. So I knew I wanted to do it there. I feel very comfortable, and I trust him and like the space, and then I hit up my friends, Sister Strings, Megan Mullins, Ellen Angelical, like all these people who I have gotten the privilege to work with and call friends over the years. And I think the producers that I've worked with that have been really instrumental for me, I think the biggest thing that I've learned from them is like Laura said, they have great taste and they get the right people in the room. Because if you get the right people in the room, like that's actually most of the battle. Like, and especially people who are used to communicating in that way with each other. And I had worked with everybody in some capacities. I would never get somebody who's like difficult to work with, or, it's just when you're like, hey, this is like this idea that I have and they can like execute it even better than that, then that's most of the battle. So I knew that part was going to be easy. And then you want to be able to have fun too. And it really was like, it was like mostly women, especially I think one of the days it was like 16 women or something like that in the studio, and then just like Andrea, and like the energy was like, it was like electric, and like buzzing every single room you went in. So there was just like so much love and like support, and everyone was like, I was nervous. It was my first time, producing in that way where there was like multiple days and, moving parts and all that kind of stuff. So I was really nervous, but like everybody was it was honestly like so easy. And for me too, some of the most fun I've ever had in the studio. So, we had a beautiful time. Our friend Shimmy like cooked for us and like all this kind of thing. He was just like very like comfortable and warm and easy, really, and in so many ways. Yeah.
Well, Laura, let me leave you with this, guys. Laura, are we gonna see this puppy come to life soon? Like, what are because it's such a beautiful EP, guys. It's magical.
Yeah.
Any plans to perform it? Any plans to maybe make a part 2? Like, what can you tell us, Laura, to finish off here?
So I just actually am announcing a show today I'm going to be doing in St. Petersburg, Florida in August, where I'm going to be playing the new music with a full band out here. And Megan, I need to talk to you about it, see if it makes a part of it. But I'm going to be using local musicians here in Florida. And I haven't done a full band show since before the pandemic. Like the last full band show I did was Live on the Green.
Mm-hmm.
Which is crazy.
R.I.P.
I know. It feels like a lifetime ago, but not that long ago. But I'm planning to start doing more live band shows, like especially after making this music, which this is the kind of music that I can't really pull off acoustic. Like I was just in Mexico doing some solo shows, and it was like I can't play, even though I wrote them on like a guitar or a ukulele. I'm like, they are so much bigger now. It kind of needs like a production.
Yeah.
And so I definitely want to do like several of those shows around the country. And I think we're already talking about the reason we called it Volume 1 is because there's definitely more. Like, I feel like we just kind of got our feet wet and it was like, oh, okay. It's like building any relationship. It's like, all right, let's like not bite off too much. Let's see how we do, see how this goes. Oh, people love this. Okay, cool. Well, there's always going to be more songs,
Right.
and we already have some in mind. Like one of the songs that's like an interlude in there, Painted to Pearls. That was just the work tape. Megan had the idea of like, I really love the vibe of the work tape. Let's just like kind of tease it in there as this like kind of ethereal dream, but most likely we'll go in and reconstruct that song together because all the songs were like a reconstruction, like a collaboration. I mean, even when we were in the studio, and this is, I think, what was so beautiful because people don't do this very often anymore. No one heard any of the music before they got there. And we basically just went in there really open-minded of like, hey, let's write the string parts on the spot. Let's do some of these arrangements on the spot. Let's see what we can all cook together, which I love. So yeah, there's more. We're just getting started, and it's more a matter of like figuring out people's schedules because everybody wants Megan to play with them. But I also see like her coming into this next chapter where everyone's going to be hitting you up for production, because it is like such a natural, like effortless skill of hers.
Well, I think both of you guys, and thank you so much for your time, and I really appreciate having you guys on. And but congratulations, because I think both of you are entering a really special period of your lives, artistically, personally, and we talked about this with Laura. And Gemini is coming in on this beautiful season that is rare. So Megan and Laura, even though you guys are heck of an accomplished people right now, I think you're just entering like the best part of your life. So thank you for sharing it with us. Really,
Thank you, Jamie, and you too.
Yeah. Well, I'm embracing my elderly millennial era.
Yeah.
Of because me and Megan are actually born the same year too.
No, tell me about that.
We're like 2 weeks apart or a week apart.
Yeah, I'm May 23rd. You're June 8th. And then when are you, Jamie? Because I know that you're also Gemini.
May 28th.
May 28th. Oh, that's right. We talked about that. So
one of these years we got to do a Gemini extravaganza,
Yes. Oh Lord, they can handle it.
Yeah, I don't think the city can handle it. I think it's a little much.
I know everyone like tries to hate on us, but they love us. We're the most fun.
Obviously.
All right, ladies. What a pleasure to spend the day with you.
Thank you
Have a
so
great
much.
rest of the day. Bye. Stay safe on the road. Bye, Laura.
Ciao.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here for the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from Jrodconcerts Media.